Grand afternoon, grand afternoon, grand evening, grand noches, and grand rising. No matter where you are, you're here. You are here. So, to the real gods and goddesses of the universe, y'all already know. They the fuck know. You know, God Almighty people. May pray all is well. May pray that today was an abundant day. And abundance is not money. Your mind instantly went to money, you already lost. That's peace, there's joy, there's happiness, there's serendipity. You feel me? Good vibes. Grand afternoon, Miss Sandra. I pray that the night, if your day didn't go right, then the night gonna be better. You know, you always gotta see the beauty in everything. You can't get the ugly, you know? If you want to look at the ugly, go look at the devil's kids. You feel me? Because I'm pretty sure they ugly on the outside just as they is on the inside. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to God Almighty people, you always choose to see the beauty. I was on YouTube and then I said, let me, because I was listening to DMX, and when he start the song off, he say, to live is to suffer, but to survive is to find the meaning in the suffering. Mm. If you've been watching my channel, you already know how we spoke on Mr. X. You feel me? DMX. That nigga was ahead of his time. I'm telling you, he was ahead of his time. It's not nan DMX song that you can't play. I'm telling you, that slipping and falling. You can't listen to that without feeling emotional. That nigga right there, I'm gonna tell you something. Well, I don't know, cause I'm an empath. You feel me? I'm really like that. So some of y'all can listen to that shit, don't feel no type of way. You feel me? But I'm sitting here telling you every word, every word that man said. I felt that nigga pain in them. So that's why I felt emotional. You feel me? And then the nigga gone, and y'all know that DMX. You feel me? That was like my first real celebrity crush. Like for me to be like, for me to say, okay, I'ma pick this person. Cause I think I like Deion Sanders. I like a lot of people, but DMX, that nigga, him and Aaliyah was on my wall everywhere. DMX was all over my motherfucking wall. Him and Aaliyah. I had a bunch of celebrities, but DMX and Aaliyah had the biggest goddamn posters. I'm telling you. But that nigga said, to live is to suffer. But on you, like he said some deep shit, but to live is not to suffer though. It's all about what you choose. That's why I'm saying this. To live is the love. To live, if you choose to live, you do not suffer. It don't matter what the scenario is, what the situation is, you do not suffer. You could see a family and you could have been that family that grew up that didn't have a lot. Everybody watch, everybody hate Chris. You feel me? Like you cannot have some stuff, but it be joy in that. It be happiness in that. Even J. Cole said he think being broke was better. It's all about your mindset too. Like if the reason why you suffering or the reason why you feel like you failing in life or your life ain't shit because you don't have the fancy cars, fancy clothes, and all that shit, then that's a different mindset. Like you gotta work with that. I don't know what to tell you from that because that ain't my mindset. My life, I'm not living to suffer. It don't matter what my back is up against. I'm not suffering because I choose to see the beauty in anything and everything. And I also choose to live, if that makes sense. You live how your mindset is. I can go out and somebody cannot have nothing and I can just get them like $1 or something. I'm living. It makes me feel alive. If it, like it's all about your mindset. So on that song, DMX was fighting demons. So that's why. To live is to suffer. But then that nigga said that's but he said to survive is to find the meaning in suffering. Basically, it's like the shit that you go through in life. That's why I tell you, don't dwell on things that you done defeated. If you done already defeated, like when people used to come to me when I first started out, that's why it's like I already set the tone. I already set the lingo, the vocabulary, the vibration, the frequency. All you had to do was just follow it. I tell people, you ain't no damn trier. When the fuck you ever try to do something? You can hear a rat piss on cotton. You a doer, baby. Switch that vocabulary up. It's all about the mindset. If you living out here to die, then that's what the fuck you gonna do. If you living out here to suffer, that's what the fuck you gonna do. If and I'm not trying to be funny, but those are the words of a god. He spoke it. He went in the wicked ass industry. Look what they did. That's why I'm telling you, your words and thoughts is powerful. You must always, like, I'm going back to the basics when I first started out. You got to always think and speak positivity, especially when it's coming to you and yours. You shouldn't be speaking negativity on shit if you really want to keep it divine facts. That's why I said program the mind to think positive. To like, ever since I started my channel, I've been myself. So it's like I remember growing, like telling people, I was like, listen, you got to get your mind right before you try to embark on anything. And people used to be like, yeah, whatever. It's highly important that you have your mind right. If your mind not right, I don't give a fuck what you put in your left in front of. You not gonna be successful. The mind is not right. If you got a business and your mind is right, I don't give a fuck if the business is up and down. You gonna be Gucci. A motherfucker who mind ain't right, that business gotta stay a certain something. And if it go down, then what? The mind ain't right. The mind ain't strong enough to develop, to create, to do nothing. I'm telling you, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. If you out here pouring your energy into shit that do not build the mind, you lost. Game over. Your mind is very important. If you can't think for yourself, game over. If anybody has to help you think for yourself, I don't give a fuck what they told you in life. You lost. You fucking lost. If any decision like you, this is why people that come to my channel, I'm not gonna force you, but I want to make everything that you want to do, you decide, and then outside of that, solicit it if needed. Remember when I used to say that? Solicit it if needed, meaning if I do need help, you feel me, or if I do need an opinion, or if I do need, you feel me. Y'all gotta build your own mindset up. You can't be out here in the world depending on somebody else's brain. If that's what you doing, you lost. I'm telling you, you lost. Your mindset should be set on beautiful shit. Oh, my kid's gonna graduate. You see your kid not being able to add. You already project, like you already speak negative shit on a motherfucker. A motherfucker be a little hard headed or be bad. They gonna end up in jail. Like, damn. One thing about energy, right? This why I don't be around nobody. And the people that I do be around, I taught y'all this. This shit is very important. If you around anybody that's low fucking vibrational and you're not a transmuter, you're gonna soak that fucking energy up. It's gonna affect you. Whether you believe it or not. This is why I tell you your circle is very important. You do not want to be hanging with people that's like low vibrational. They ain't doing nothing with themselves. You know what they out here doing? Showing the world that they miserable, like the motherfucker that I just blocked. Ain't got shit going on. And the motherfuckers said what? Something in the microwave. Let me tell you something. I'm just heating up like a motherfucking microwave. Anubis and Amit. I'm not even gonna say too much on the lie because motherfuckers know what it is. Whoever's behind that energy. But before y'all do what it is that you need to do, scare the fuck out this motherfucker. Cause the energy that's behind that person, that's a cornball motherfucker. Somebody that, you feel me, can't hum, skip, none of that shit. Probably can't even dribble a ball. Divine forces, whoever that was, I'm talking about scared the shit out of them. I'm talking about scared the fuck out of them. If you can show yourself or flash in and out, get their asses. Wait till darkness fall. Y'all gonna learn. And any motherfucking negative shit that you've been putting out is gonna come back to you. So after my divine forces fuck you up, that negative energy is probably gonna come from out from under your bed, your closet. Remember that. Now enjoy. If you a nigga, are you afraid of the dark? I'm pretty sure y'all gonna be afraid. It don't matter what light you cut on. It don't matter what prayer you say. Thank you, little birdies. You fucked. Now back to the message. Train your mind. You see a nigga like that was in the comments. They ain't got no brain. They ain't got no functions in there. They don't exercise their brain. How do I know? When you come in somebody comments being over the age of 18 and you do that, what does that show you? Inadequate as fuck. Mentally incompetent. When you see anybody doing shit like that, I'm telling you, low vibrational. Ain't nothing going on in the brain. The mall is open, but ain't nobody shopping. That's a motherfucker that'll say 2 plus 2 equals 5. You don't want to be like them. You don't want to be this energy that I just blocked. God Almighty works in mysterious ways. Them are the type of motherfuckers you keep out your energetic force field. Them are the motherfuckers that be Debbie Downers. See, God Almighty ain't put no anointment on them. So when they see you, they know you got the anointment. So what they do, they hate and they be mad. Can't create, so they gonna dislike the creator. Don't got no anointment. What that mean? They need attention. You can always tell when people say, oh, I got God Almighty, but you dying for attention though. Sound like you got the devil to me. Whoever you is that slid in my comments, I can tell your parents ain't love you enough. You don't love yourself. You're not getting no type of love. So what does that mean, HBBs? If you have scrubs like this in your circle, you're going to absorb that negative energy. You the type of person that's happy-go-lucky. So you need to make sure all your people is happy-go-lucky. Remember when I said if somebody going in the opposite direction of you, it's a conflict of interest. I'm telling you it is. If I got 5 other friends and one of them don't want to do right, they're going to be the disruption energy in our group. They're going to be the chaos. Every time chaos or drama is going on, it's going to be because of them. We could go somewhere and we're going out to help somebody. Ah, it's hot out here. Da da da. But the other 4 people, they don't give a fuck how hot it is. Why? Because this is something that they want to do. You got to make sure that y'all are going in the same direction. That's why I don't sit with people like that I just block. Low vibrational as fuck. Can't have no conversations with them. The conversations will be shit that I'm like, what? Disgusting. You don't want to sit yourself, if you're the type of person that's loyal, but you got a friend that's disloyal, why is you hanging with them? There's no reason for you. Energetically, you're fucking yourself up. Why? Because they're going to put you in a situation and use shit like loyalty. I'm your friend and da 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 da. No, if you problematic, you out here doing XYZ, don't bring me into it. So this is why people get mad, because I'm a fucking avoider. I told y'all this since day one. If you the type of bitch that's out here popping your ass, I don't want to befriend you. Why? Because I don't want guilty by association. And when you get to popping your ass, I'm always gonna have some shit to say. So why would I be friends with a bitch who like to pop her ass? Y'all would know. Y'all would have a friend like that, or whatever it is you want to use the situation, and you would still befriend them. You can have a person that you could like. You could be a friend, right? Because a lot of niggas gonna feel this. You could have once been a drug dealer or whatever the fuck the case may be, and then you peaked. So now you no longer live that life, but you still want to hang with them. You can't do that. And I don't give a fuck what they tell you. You cannot do that. Y'all set yourself up for failure. Let me tell you what it is spiritually. When you used to sell drugs, but then you said, hey, I see you, and put you out. So you can no longer hang with them people. That's what that means spiritually. And then still hang with them. So that means is invalid. Your ascension went in vain. You could tell I don't give a fuck because y'all don't watch me for 3 years. So you done seen people for 3 years. I done cut off. When I sin, I don't give a fuck about 20 year, 50 year. I don't give a fuck about shit. Remember, I taught y'all obligation. You're I apologize, y'all. I fuck with my shit. You're not obligated to do nothing. Y'all know I'm quick to cut people off. Y'all been watching me for 3 years. Like 3 years. I don't give a fuck. When I ascend, it's not going in vain. That's a slap. That's a slap to yourself in the face. That means work that you put in. Everybody of the divine said, okay, salute, respect. But y'all be like, why am I going through XYZ? Why can't I die? Because you ascended and you in an environment that you ascended from. What that mean? You can't be there. You can't heal in the same environment that got you sick. I told y'all this before they made that shit a fucking meme. You can't. There's no way in hell. Y'all already know how they gonna fuck with my life. But I don't give a fuck. Y'all be scared to release people. I'm not being scared to release nobody. At the end of the day, when you put that work in, that's you. I taught y'all HVBs and divine beings. I said you got a gap. You at the top, they at the bottom, cause that's ascension. That don't mean you better than them. It's just the example that I'm letting you know. They're supposed to ascend to where you at. So if they're not, then they're gonna bring you down. You don't bridge the gap. When you ascend to the newcomers, you stay where the fuck you at. The people that's around you, if they don't get on board, what that mean? They're left. That's what it is. It don't matter who consists of them people. When you say that's my mama, that's my such and such, that's my dad, you tell God Almighty, I'm good. Because you physical. Spiritually, that's what you tell God Almighty. When God Almighty put the energy down, you the only one that picked it up. That means you ascended. If all of you, if all your if you and your friends sell drugs, right? And then your ass say, hey, I don't want to do it no more. Not only did everybody get the energy down, now they got an example. And it's an example that they can relate to. It's an example that they supposed to be allegedly cool with. So you feel me? Once those two things, like key ingredients, go on, that's why I tell you, God Almighty don't be giving the fuck, because it's like, why ain't you changing? Because they don't want to. So this is spiritually God Almighty telling you, hey, this is it's not beef, it's not an enemy. But if you stay here, you're gonna slow your progression down. If you want to slow your progression down, cool beans. But do not cry, do not do XYZ. Y'all be scared to release people. When I ascend, bye-bye. I don't even wait to look and see if somebody gon' ascend up. Like you need to get to that level. If you not ascending while I'm ascending, you left. You good as left. Cause I'm not gonna get to where I'm going and sit or wait on nobody. By the time you finally ascend, I probably done ascended like 10, 20 times. So that's why I tell people you better grow as I grow. And people say that's rude. No, because I'm not forcing nobody. That's your mindset. You don't have the capabilities to think and process the way I do. So my brain and my mindset has say, hey, I'm not waiting. Your brain and mindset say I'm awake for them. So you can say that I'm rude. I don't give a fuck. That's your mindset. My mindset is different. My mindset said, hey, this is a race and a lane that you in by your fucking self. So what that means? Wait for who? God Almighty? That's about it. Y'all let people or whatever slow your progression down. I had a song I got to rap when I said, are you really moving or is people passing? Y'all got y'all foot on the brakes and y'all just gassing. So It's like some people be thinking they moving, they don't be moving. People be passing that ass by. Look like you moving, but you're not. The people around you is moving. So what that mean? You at a standstill. Then you got some people who say I am moving, but they foot on the brake. They got the brake on, hitting the gas. Where's you going? Y'all got y'all foot on the brakes and y'all just gassing. And what I'm telling you, like, when you change, when you ascend, you leave whoever behind because you are now being aligned with with what you just put the work in. If so, what that mean? You're going to be aligned with other guys or girls who used to sell drugs or used to do something, but they ascended out of it. You are depriving yourself of ascension, completion, um, rewards, alignment. It's a lot of stuff that you are depriving yourself from when you stay there. What's the point of ascending then? You should keep on selling drugs. And I'm not encouraging nobody to sell no drugs. I'm just letting you know, like, this is just the example. Like, that's what you should have did then. Because you ascended for nothing. Because they're still going to have you, you're in the environment of where that shit go on. So even if you're not, you could possibly go to jail. Why? Even if you not selling it, guilty by association, then you downtown. They gonna do the bro code. Oh, don't say nothing. Now you get locked up for something you ain't even fucking do. You done said you done quit it. Now you in the damn jail or whatever. You crying. This is where God Almighty be like, I'm not answering you. I'm not wiping your tears. And y'all believe because of some fake people that wasn't credible told you when you go inside that jail, God Almighty gonna wipe your tears. No, because God Almighty said, hey, you put in the work, move. You said no. So when you say no, that's why I told y'all, like, like when God Almighty told me to move with that fuck nigga, I said no. So that's why I tell you, I'm not saying what the nigga did was right. I would never agree to that. But you ain't see me out here just trying to call on God Almighty and do all this shit. I knew what the fuck I was doing. God Almighty said, Brick, go the opposite direction. I said no. So what does that mean? Whatever the fuck goes with that no, I'm going to have to endure. That's where you put your big panties on. So at that moment, I would have been living to suffer. When God Almighty tell you to go, you supposed to leave. But when you say no, that's when you pick up that energy. Living to suffer. What that mean? If you dealing with a guy or a girl and you need to leave them alone, but you keep fucking with them, you gonna suffer while you with them. Then after you finally leave them alone, you gonna know your worth or whatever the case may be. But with me, I already knew the nigga was a fuck nigga. I wanted to prove that he was a goddamn mental patient. And that's no cap. I wanted to prove that he wasn't that he wasn't loyal and all the shit that he said on my goddamn live. Try to argue with me down. Talking about Leos against Aries and all that shit. Y'all remember that. I can already feel the energy when bitch or girl. Cause niggas is bitches too. When they be wicked. You can sense that, you can read it all the above. So what I'm telling you is y'all would choose to stay there, and then when the chaos come, you be crying or you be doing XYZ. You cannot do that. You welcome the energy in. Nobody forced you or told you to accept that energy. God Almighty said move. So what was you being? Disobedient. When you ascend, that means move, damn it. Nomad energy. Y'all need to Google what nomad is to the newcomers. That's a continuance of movement. If you ascended and you still in the same environment, like, come on. Common sense and logic. That's why when people, they be like, oh, you ain't got no heart. No, they ain't got no fucking brain. Why the fuck you gonna try to take away my heart because my brain working? You want me to have a heart for stupidity. And this is why society is fucked up, because they want you to have compassionate to stupidity. If I'm no longer selling drugs, why the fuck am I still on the block? Why the fuck am I still in the trap? Bees in the trap. Bees in the trap. Then the boys run up in there. I wasn't even doing that. I was just chilling. Why the fuck are you in there? They doing burnouts. That's a low vibrational motherfucker right there. And then they be expecting you to I don't know what they be expecting.
The one thing if you want to be a crash out, I'ma step right out the way. You can crash into anything, you just not crashing over here. This is why I tell y'all the mindset is very important. Stimulate your mind. If it's not stimulating your mind, it's the waste of your energy. It's a waste of your time. It's taken away from you getting what's yours and what's for your bloodline. Damn, that shit was rhyming. Like you don't wanna listen. If it's meant for you to have land and all this shit, businesses and all this stuff, why would you take that from yourself? Why would you deny yourself that for Robert, Joe, or Bethany and Susie? That shit is not, they're not important. They're going nowhere. And how you know they're going nowhere is because when God Almighty put that energy down, they didn't pick it up. They might go somewhere 5, 10 years ago. You don't gotta wait. You don't got time to be waiting 5, 10 years ago. In 5 and 10 years, you can be way beyond. If you look out into the world, go ask your mama, your daddy, go ask somebody close to you. They done gave up their life. So now they think it's time to live, they're living to suffer. Why? Because they didn't want to, like, they clipped their growth for whatever fucking reason. I'm not clipping my growth. I'm not doing that. You will hear a lot of people say, well, I had to stay behind and help raise, or I had to do all this, I had to do all that. Fuck that. You can watch certain movies and you will see the family dynamic of that. You will see one successful, then you will see one with a mediocre life. The one with the mediocre life dislike the one that's successful. Why? Because they in regret because they stayed home. And the other one went off and made something of themselves. And then some of the time, the successful motherfucker could be jealous of the one that didn't leave because they got the love, the family, and all this shit. They just got the fancy life. It's all about the mindset. The one who chose to stay home, who told them to do that? It's what they chose to. When you clip your growth, that's on you. Okay? That is on you. That's not on nobody but you. That's why I created this channel. Stop clipping your growth. Y'all be scared to leave motherfuckers behind. See, I'm common sense. Is they fucking with the live? Like, I'm common sense. What that mean? My mindset tell me I can leave and become great, and then I can come back and then see if I can put other people on. If they don't want to, then cool beans. Y'all be clipping yourself or stagnating your growth, and then it's nothing. Y'all not tired of that? That one thing I'm not about to do. Like, let me give you an example. Let's say I had a husband, right? And he gonna make some money. He gonna make some money that's gonna make us set for life, but he gotta be away 3 months. Y'all would be like, you would say all of this shit. You would come up with all these excuses, complaints, or whatever. A bitch like me won't say shit. He'll know that I'm sad, whatever, but we gonna get through it. It's only 3 months. Why? Because by him leaving the nest, he's not leaving the nest to abort. He's not leaving the nest to do XYZ. He's leaving the nest to better the nest. Once that's in your mind, you don't care about, oh, well, who gonna be over there? Da, 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 da. It's you gotta have tunnel vision. You gotta have goal vision. What does that mean? When something is important to you, that should be the only thing you focus on. So my thing is, he's not leaving to the nest for bullshit. He's leaving the nest to better it. So when you don't have a mindset like that, and I'm a person that had that mindset, I come to you and I say, you the problem. Somebody trying to better the nest. You don't want the nest to be better? Why? Because you're gonna be by yourself 3 months. Like stuff that y'all do, like you gotta see when people is hindering you. I'm telling you. Even if it's your wife, your husband, whoever, kids, you cannot do that. God Almighty put that energy on you where you feel like you gotta go or you gotta get it, whatever the situation is. That's a energy that come from God Almighty because it was within you. And now you're putting it to work physically by acting with it, moving, going in that direction. When somebody tell you do not, cut them the fuck off. If it's going to cause you harm, then you listen to them. Opinions is solicited when needed. But if it's not causing you harm or nobody else, What questions are you asking? Go. Y'all will see your friend move somewhere and prosper, and you still stuck back at home, and you be mad or jealous of them and envy of them. You can do the same shit. Why can't you? Oh, because you have a fucked up mind. Your mental is what's stopping you. You're jealous or envy of them because their mindset moved and they moved. Like when I left North Carolina and go to Tennessee, you could pack your shit up and leave too. Why didn't you? Because you scared. It's like me because I'm not scared. It's a personal problem. How can you dislike me because I made moves? You see why I tell you the difference between God Almighty people? When a person dislike you because you can do something that they can't do, I'm telling you, those are crabs in a bucket mentality. Stay the fuck away from them. When God Almighty expose them motherfuckers like that, your family members, fake friends, whoever, do not repaint them. Do not give them no title. God Almighty is the truth. So if God Almighty says serpent, that's what the fuck it is. God Almighty say snake in the grass. You say, ooh, let's turn into a pet snake. Snake in the grass. Go get me that goddamn, go get me a knife. I'm about to chop the head off. The fuck wrong with y'all? You turn the snake into a house pet. Then when it bites your ass, you see what the common sense? I'm pretty sure the common sense left your body when it bit your ass. Or you may not have had nothing to begin with. It don't matter who those people are. They are stunning your growth. And then a lot of y'all wouldn't be in certain situations. It's people in jail, prison. It's people, you feel me? You wouldn't be in certain fucking situations if you, here they go fucking with the live. Like they not important. And why does it say 15 minutes and I've been on here longer than that? I'm telling y'all real shit, yo. Real talk. Because a lot of people self-sabotage, and then you look out into the world and you become Satan's son and see that shit. I won't ever look at somebody and be disgusted because they're winning. Y'all think that shit is normal. That's not. That's satanic. That's demonic. If you look at anybody and you hate them or you jealous because of anything, because you lack, you belong to the devil. Back to God Almighty people. That's why you cut them off. Y'all be thinking these motherfuckers, that's my mom, that's my da-da-da-da, and they be the devil's people. They're there to stop you. They're there to tell you, like, let's say you get a job promotion that's telling you to go somewhere else, right? To a different state. Pay attention to the motherfuckers who always speaking the negativity. Remember, I tell you the beauty and the struggle. The reason why I'm telling you is to pay attention to the ones saying negativity, because there go your haters right there. Oh, you shouldn't go out there because they out there kidnapping people. That may be true. You would be physical and think that they're saying that because they care about you. Are they your mama or your daddy? So why the fuck would they even carry that? See, you don't got common sense enough to think that. You think, oh, they just care about me. No. A motherfucker know that if you leave them behind, you're gonna be something. See, the devil kids, they get left behind. That's why when you really roll with God Almighty, they'll push you forward. Hey, you need to go to California because it's a change of scenery. You need to experience that. Why? Because I don't want to hang on to you. I want to see you grow. This is a different environment, different groups of people, a different walk of life for you. When I don't give a fuck who it is and something, then listen, when it's your parents, they even be haters too. That's why you gotta know. Like, if your mama the type that cry every time, cried at graduation, cried when you moved out, you know damn well she gonna cry when you go to a whole nother goddamn state. So you know where her energy's coming from. That's not a serpent in the grass, but she still is clipping you. She still would be clipping you just in a positive way, meaning her intentions and her actions are pure, but she's still clipping you. You would rather have your mom type energy, meaning she don't want you to go because you her baby, versus your friends telling you, oh, da-da-da-da, because they know you're going to do better than them. You're going to leave them behind. If you're going to take on that energy, take on the positive kind. Oh, that's your mama baby. I mean, you the baby. But Even with the positive kind, what did I tell you she's still doing? Clipping you, stopping you from being great. Because God Almighty don't give a fuck about her tears. That's why God Almighty said move all the way over here. Her tears ain't got shit to do with your movement over there. That's where you gonna shine. That's where you gonna get whatever the fuck God Almighty said. Y'all stop it. I'm not stopping shit. God Almighty said move, bitch, I'm on a roll. I don't give a fuck. Y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all sat there and watched me be in North Carolina one day and be in Tennessee the next. Didn't look back, did it what? By my fucking self. And I'm a female. Did you think I gave a fuck? I didn't even think about being fucked up, harmed, none of that. I didn't think about nothing negative. That's why I tell you stay away from them people. I didn't have nobody inside my head to even try to trick me or try to put that energy in me. Do you know what my mindset was? Get the fuck away from here. Y'all be letting people trick you out your purpose, trick you out your mission, trick you out your spot. They polka dots. They trying to get a spot like a polka dot. You ain't trying to get shit. It's ordained. These are your spots. They don't want you to connect the dots because they can't connect it or they scared. Anytime I say something, somebody say the total opposite of what the fuck I'm doing, I automatically view you as the devil's kid. You a hater. Every time that's why you don't tell people nothing. You just do. I'm not here to give you nothing, no type of lies. I told y'all this one-stop shop. You can come over here and get some psychic medium shit. You can come over here and get some spiritual knowledge, some life. You getting everything over here. Fuck all that, baby. Move. A lot of y'all needed to hear this because y'all was stagnant. Move. What they say, keep it moving, moving. Y'all sitting still, you supposed to keep it moving like a drive-by. And speaking of Drake, oh, nah, I'm going to do it on another live. I think I'm going to get off of here and come back because my lives do be extra long. I think I'm going to get off here, y'all, and come back because that's what I had to do. I knew they were going to come in because I said it's a reading that I had to do. It's Drizzy. Y'all, I'm back to get off here and come back. I have to put this message out. I have to. So y'all, when it comes to the God Almighty people, the Most High people, may the Most High be with you, within you, and surrounding you. Shalom. I forgot.